Hornby's Warship has been cancelled. Hi, welcome to Model Trains. Early today, a major retailer confirmed some sad news. The Hornby Railroad Plus Warship Class 43 Pathfinder is dead in the water. It has been completely scrubbed from Hornby's upcoming production schedule. Now, I've had this exact model on back order for years. In fact, it was my longest standing pre-order. I was generally looking forward to adding Pathfinder to my fleet, but instead, after years of waiting, it's just gone. Just like that. But this isn't a rant about one cancelled locomotive. Today we need to take a hard look at Hornby's broader marketing strategy over recent years and why I believe this specific cancellation highlights a massive managerial mistake. Let's look at the track record. Hornby has become infamous in the hobby community for chasing licensed branding novelties. We've seen the Beatles trains, Coca-Cola starter sets, and who could possibly forget the steampunk line? Now look, those gimmicks might appeal to a casual Christmas buyer, but they don't sustain the hobby. The core modelling community wants accurate, affordable locomotives. By putting massive capital into these high license cost novelties, which frequently end up being heavily discounted in retail bargain bins, Hornby has lost hundreds of thousands of pounds, in my opinion. It's a serious error of judgment, and when real models like the Warship get axed, it feels like core hobbyists are paying the price for boardroom mistakes. The second piece of the puzzle is a pattern we've all noticed in the UK model railway market: spoiler tactics. We've seen it time and time again. The minute Hornby catches wind that an agile competitor is developing a highly requested, newly tooled model range, what do? They dive straight into their old back catalogue. They quickly announce a rushed copycat version of the exact same locomotive. The goal isn't necessarily to innovate, it's a defensive play to scupper the competitor's launch, split the pre-orders and kill their market momentum before the product even hits the factory floor. It's an aggressive strategy that leaves the market messy, confused, and filled with duplicate tooling. But recently that strategy backfired in the most embarrassing way. If you want the ultimate textbook example of the spoiler tactic blowing up in Hornby's face, look no further than the Tipfield Thunderbolt fiasco of 2022. Let's look at the facts. The team at Rapido Trains UK spent months legally and professionally securing the official merchandise rights from Studio Canal to release a beautiful 70th anniversary Tipfield Thunderbolt train pack. It was a massive labour of love for them, but what did Hornby do the second they caught wind of it? They immediately announced their own copycat Trains on film pack featuring the exact same locomotive, trying to swoop in and steal Rapido's thunder. Did that tactic work? Absolutely not. Did it backfire? Spectacularly. Hornby rushed it so fast they failed to do basic due diligence. They didn't actually own the image rights to the film's characters or rolling stock. Rapido and Studio Canal stood their ground, and Hornby was forced to release a highly embarrassing public statement acknowledging Studio Canal's rights and completely cancelling their own product line. They were humiliated, and this did nothing for the hobby whatsoever. And has that aggressive corporate bullying slowed Rapido down since? Not a chance. If anything, the community rallied behind them. Rapido has gone from strength to strength, and in my opinion, they are now the most prolific manufacturer of new release 00 gauge British Rail scale models by a long shot. The tactic failed brilliantly. Which brings us back to today. With Hornby pulling out of the race, There is now only one manufacturer left standing to deliver the Class 42-43 warship in 00 gauge, and that mantle goes entirely to Helgen. Now, for my viewers watching around the world who might not automatically recognise this locomotive, meet a true British rail icon. In the late 1950s, British Railways wanted to rapidly replace steam engines with fast, lightweight diesels. Instead of building heavy diesel electrics, Swindon Works looked to Germany, copying their advanced lightweight diesel hydraulic transmission design. These stylish 80-mile-an-hour machines were all named after famous Royal Navy warships. They ruled the Western region for over a decade, but because their hydraulic systems were highly complex and non-standard, British Rail sadly withdrew the entire fleet by 1972. They were short-lived, but total legends. And that brings us right back to the modern modelling market. Will the upcoming Helgen version be a masterpiece? Your guess is as good as mine. Helgen have made some decent heavy diesels, but let's be honest, a lot of them have been absolute disasters too. Who could forget the Class 47, for example? So let's look at the commercial detail. We already know the barrier to entry. Their retail price is sitting at around $149. So let's talk apples for apples here. Let's look at the real world maths. Hornby was positioning their railroad warship to sell through retail outlets at just over £80 street price. That's excluding postage, of course. That is a massive £69 price gap. For the average modeller or someone looking to build a realistic fleet of Western region diesels, an £80 locomotive is highly accessible. At £149, it becomes a major financial investment. Hornby completely owned the budget space here, and they just walked away from it. Surely it made more sense for Hornby to honour their catalogue promise, deliver this budget-friendly railroad model, and capture the absolute majority share of the market for the diesel icon. Why hand the entire sales potential over to Helgen on a silver platter? If Hornby's excuse was the old tooling wasn't up to modern standards, they had options. Could they have updated it? Absolutely. Don't forget they already owned this tooling, which originally came from Lima. If you're not sure about its pedigree, you just need to look at the second-hand market. These older models are still holding a massive second-hand price premium, so this isn't just my opinion here, the facts are right there to see. Even with a modest budget, they could have tweaked that tooling. They could have added modern LED directional lighting, etched roof grills, stay-alive capacitor for smooth running, factory-fitted speaker. They could have even upgraded the axle bearings, who knows. Charge an extra £15 or £20 to cover the cost, and they would have still undercut the competition by a mile, while clearing a healthy profit margin. Now, if there was a major problem with the tooling, and they couldn't justify a complete retooling of the warship, then share the feedback with the community. By reaching out to the community, they could have rallied to put some money on the table to keep Warship in Hornby's range with the latest upgrades. I'm sure the community would have bought into it. I understand that Hornby has to make tough decisions to get back into the black, but there is a serious disconnect between the boardroom and the layout. Serious modelers don't want a massive Coca-Cola bottle rolling around their tracks. They want reasonably priced, decent looking, realistic locomotives that reflect real life examples that actually ran on British rails. I firmly believe that cancelling the Warship locomotive was the wrong strategic move, and I stand by that. But as always, this channel is a community, and I want to know what you think. Would you have bought the Hornby Railroad release if it actually hit the shelves? Or would you have preferred if they delayed it to add better features like lighting or etched grills? Are you going to save up for the Helgen version now, or skip the Warship entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. No one is blaming Hornby for making tough business choices. but they need to be the right choices for the people who actually buy their trains. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.